All right, what is going on, Southern Ground? I am here at my house just doing some last minute things. I've got a hunt coming up in Kentucky in just a couple weeks, and I'm just running through my kayak setup. And so I thought it'd be really cool to show you guys some of the things that I'm doing. And I get questions all the time from listeners to the podcast and people who are subscribed to this channel, which you should do, by the way, about my kayak hunting setup, because there's just really not a lot of stuff about it online. And so I thought I'd kind of show you guys what I'm doing, and yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy this. Okay, so one of the first things that I did this year was I put these ATV racks on the side of my kayak. And so what I did was I bolted them in with stainless steel screws because they will get wet. I bolted them in and I used the hatch right here to tighten the nuts and stuff on the inside. But my purpose for this was just to get the bow out of the way. When I would kill a deer, everything would be in the way, and so I'd have to a lot of times I'd have to make 2 trips, not because of weight capacity or anything like that, but just because I didn't have space in my boat. And so what this does is it actually gets the bow out of the way. It's super secure. There's these little straps on here, little rubber straps that keep it secure, so you can see that's not going to go anywhere. These are from Kolpin, and I just bought them on Amazon. There'll be a link in the description below. And it's super easy to put them on as long as your kayak has some kind of access to the inside, to the hull of the boat. It was very easy. I had to stretch a little bit, but it's okay. Also, this is my new breed GX2 that I haven't really gotten to talk about much. I did a whole vlogging video of it, and the footage got lost. So I'm going to show you what this actually looks like without the bow on it. All right, so I'm sure you can see this, but I have 2 of them, very cheap. I think they were like 15 bucks. Don't mark my word. They're by Kolpin, and they have these adjustable teeth that are on there, so you can move it basically whichever way you want to move it. I like to have it pretty level. These are the little rubber straps that I was talking about. You put your bow or your rifle, whatever you want to use, you put it in there, put that over it. It's not going to go anywhere, but just in case it does, in case you flip your boat, I always keep a paddle leash attached to the kayak, and so I put that right through the cam, and just in case it were to fall out, at least I wouldn't lose it. It'd get wet, it'd be submerged, but at least I wouldn't lose it. So if you want a kayak hunt, get plenty paddle leashes and put these little carabiners on there. It's going to save your life. There is a story about my dad's gun that fell in the bottom. If he would have had one of these, it would have been no problem. So I've learned my lesson on that. So always carry some paddle leashes. They're super cheap. You can buy them online on Amazon. I'll put a link below to those as well. Let's move on. All right, so the next and probably one of the most important things for kayak hunting is having good light source for your boat. This is actually one of the things that for some reason thought of last season when I started this. And originally I had it, I'll show you a picture right here. I had my lights on a piece of wood, and they were spread apart across the boat, and that was fine. It worked great. I just didn't have a lot of room for adjustment, and they were so far in the front, if I had my stand, I couldn't really reach them. And so I decided to put these right here because I wanted to be able to, from my seat, easily reach over, grab it, adjust it, move it, whatever I needed to do. With PVC, a lot of people tell you to cement every time you use PVC so it doesn't come apart. With this specific purpose, I do not suggest cementing or doing any of that stuff to keep it together, because you always want to be able to adjust. You never know how it could shift, or even what you might need to shine in here. So I keep it loose. I always check it to make sure they're all the way in. I don't cement anything. What I did was I used these Railblaza bases. This is an old one that I had, and this is actually a swivel, like 3-inch extender. So this actually swivels, and you can see it's swiveling right there. I got that because, like I said, I wanted to be able to have the ability to adjust. Another thing that I did is I bought this 5-inch extender originally in case I needed it to go higher. What I've realized now is that I really don't need it to go higher, but in the future, if I ever need Railblaza stuff, it's never bad to have extra. So I would suggest to go and find what you want. If you're into this kayak, even if you just kayak fish, Railblaza makes a really good product. It's just a starport, super easy. You put it in the starport and lock it, and it's good to go. I really suggest that. Another thing that I did right here is I have this battery box, and that's what everything's connected to. It's just a box. It's got this switch on it where you can turn on and off. Very easy. This is an old one that I had last year, and I'll put a link to the battery in the description. Like I said, this is the most important thing that I probably have on this kayak, because you always need light. Early in the morning, late at night, if you're dragging out a deer, if you shoot a deer in the evening and you're there late, you're going to want this light to be able to get back to the truck wherever you have the truck parked. So I highly suggest this. If you don't do anything else, I highly suggest this. Again, what this does is it keeps everything basically outside of the boat. So I have all this room inside of the boat still to work with for gear, for a dead animal, hopefully. And yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool system. I'm a fan. I'm going to paint this as well. You can see I tried painting it. Didn't work out really well, but I decided to go ahead and keep the PVC white for this video so you could kind of get an idea of what I did on here, and maybe you could copy it as well if you want to. Put a link to the lights. Also, Amazon, very cheap. Put a link to those in the description as well. All right, guys, so the last thing that I'm going to show you today in this video, one of the ones that I'm super proud of just because it was a complete DIY. A guy did this same DIY for a GoPro mount, which is this right here that you can see, and it's a rear point of view of the kayak. So basically what you're going to see is the front of the kayak and me sitting in the seat. I'm super stoked about this because, again, it gets things out of the middle. I had a like a selfie stick type thing that was coming straight up out of the front and in the middle, and I didn't really like it. All you could see was me. You didn't get any of the view around me. So what this does is it actually shoots forward, which you'll see in this video. It actually shoots forward from an angle that you catch a whole lot more of the surroundings. So I'm super pumped about that. Basically what it is, it's an old monopod that you can buy at Walmart for like $14, I think. It's got ram mounts right here that are these ball joints basically, and then a Scotty base on the seat, or behind my seat, and then a few little things that I'll link in the description below that you can buy. Again, everything is on Amazon. Some of it's not on Prime, so you'll have to wait a little bit longer, but it's still really cool. It adds a really cool effect, and what I'm really excited about being able to see is the animals that are in the boat, whether it's a deer, turkey, hogs, whatever it is. I'm really excited about seeing that angle. I think it's going to give a really neat effect. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I don't think I mentioned it, but this is actually my Perception Striker, a very cheap, budget-friendly kayak. I want to say I paid around $450 or $500. I know it sounds like a daunting thing to try to take on, but it really is rewarding. Again, if you have any questions, just write it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your questions, hear your thoughts about this setup. Subscribe to the Sportsman's Nation YouTube channel because we have a lot of cool things coming up. I said I'm getting ready to go to Kentucky, and this will be used on that. We'll be doing semi-live videos from that trip on public land in Kentucky. So I hope you guys will check it out. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the Sportsman's Nation, and I will talk to you next time.